before justice had a name. There was a law older than empires.
Have you ever looked at history and just wondered, why do even the most powerful, most incredible empires eventually just fall apart? Well, today we're diving into this really fascinating idea from a writer named Esfikt Imhotep. He talks about this single invisible law that seems to govern everything, the rise and fall of nations, and maybe, just maybe, our own lives too. And this is the core of it right here. I mean, think about it for a second. The Roman Empire, the Ottomans, they were giants, and now they're just pages in a history book. But Imhotep says there's this one principle that just keeps going, this unseen current that flows right under the surface of it all. So, what is it? So first up, we're going to explore this law that never dies. We're going to look at the invisible principles that seem to be the foundation for any society that actually manages to stick around. But to really understand what makes something last, you gotta first understand why things break. And that brings us to the flip side, the path to collapse. What happens when that fundamental law is just forgotten? And there's the diagnosis, plain and simple. For a person, it means a life that's just run by random impulses instead of any real purpose. For a nation, it's like getting amnesia, forgetting the very ideas that made it strong in the first place. And in both cases, the result is the same. It all just starts to decay. So here you can see the two paths laid out, clear as day. On one side, you've got a guiding principle. That leads to order, to stability. On the other side, you've got a life based on impulse, and that leads straight to chaos and, well, collapse. It's the ultimate choice, isn't it? A foundation of solid rock or one of shifting sand? This really is the crucial question. If forgetting the law means you're headed for ruin, how do you find your way back? How do you choose the lighthouse over the shipwreck? And this leads us right to the heart of Imhotep's whole idea, a law above all laws. Now we're going to get into what this ultimate principle really is. So what is it? Look, this is not just some law passed by a government. This is the law above the law. Think of it more like a fundamental truth of the universe, an invisible code that nobody gets a pass on. Not a king, not an empire, not anyone. A civilization or even a single life that's built on just impulse, that's a foundation of sand. It's unstable. It's going to wash away. But one that's built on this higher law, now that has a foundation of solid rock. It can take the storms. It can actually stand the test of time. And this is that law in action. It's almost like a force of nature. If you align with it, you can build something that lasts. But if you try to defy it, well, it doesn't matter how powerful you think you are, you're destined to crumble. The law might be patient, but it's absolutely going to win. Okay, so we've been talking about these huge, grand empires, but what does any of this have to do with you? Let's bring this big concept down to a personal level and talk about your commanding principle. This right here might be the most powerful insight of them all. This isn't about finding another motivational hack or some life tip. No, it's about discovering a deep, personal principle, your own internal law that holds you steady when motivation is gone and life gets really, really hard. So what does a personal law like this actually do for you? It becomes your anchor in all the chaos of daily life. It gives you real, unshakable stability. It frees you from being a slave to every little whim. And ultimately, it connects you to the path you were actually meant to walk. So where do you start? I mean, this isn't something you're just going to figure out overnight. This is the beginning of the search for truth, and it's a very personal journey. The most important thing to remember here is that you don't need all the answers right now. The real power is just in starting the search. It's in asking yourself, what principles do I really want to live by? That journey, that's the thing that transforms you. So you can think of this as an invitation. If this idea of a higher law resonates with you at all, then you've already taken the first step. This search for the codes that shape our world, it's probably the most important search there is. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. Beyond all your goals, beyond all your impulses, what is the one unbreakable law that commands you?
Maybe wisdom never lost its power, Hu. We just stopped calling it that.